Hi, and welcome back to yet another episode of Smart and Secure Investing, brought to you by Treasury One Uganda Limited. Today, we are going to talk about real estate versus Treasury bills and bonds, or how Treasury bills and bonds can be used to invest in your real estate business. I am excited to have our guest, Francis. You're welcome back to our show. You're always welcome at our show, and we're going to have a conversation about this. Should we invest in real estate, or should we invest in Treasury bonds, or should we invest in both? What should our investment portfolio look like in that aspect? So yes, you're welcome to the show, Francis.
Thanks, Edna, for having me.
So what do you have to tell us? Do we buy houses, buildings, and have a lot of tenants shouting with tenants, or should we just put all our money in Treasury bills and bonds?
They are all good and low risk investments.
They are all low risk?
Yeah, okay, they are all low risk, but the difference is on the return and also different risks involved in terms of management and also the liquidation. Of course, it's a good thing that I happen to invest in both ventures, both real estate and bonds.
Oh, you have? So you're going to tell us your personal experience?
Yeah, but okay, in investment, we have different types of portfolios. Any investor must have. Any investor who is looking at growing a portfolio, maybe with a target of, let's say, 10 years, must have what we call distributed asset class or different types of portfolios. Even banks, worldwide investors like JP Morgan, State Street, Northern Trust, Citibank New York, all these global investors, they do have different or distributed asset classes. Why? Just imagine you wake up, you have a portfolio of around 10 billion. You have apartments, but you need 2 billion. Trust me, you can sleep hungry if you need 2 billion, or you can be arrested and taken to jail. Because yes, you're rich in terms of assets, but in terms of liquidity, you don't have cash.
Because no one can wake up in the morning.
So no one can now come because you need. It's now coming to. It's now 3:30, and you need 1 billion by 4.
30 minutes?
Yeah, by 4 you need 1 billion. Trust me, your apartment will not help you.
Yeah, that is true.
Trust me, your arcade will not help you. Trust me, your land will not help you at the moment. Let's say you have an emergency, your wife, your kid, your mother needs surgery and needs 500 million for her or for him to survive. So you must have a distributed assets or different portfolios. What you can liquidate so fast and get cash,
that's very
and
smart.
what you can liquidate maybe with time, because you can, for a property like an apartment, you need 3 to 6 months for you to sell it. Like if you really want to sell it there and then, you cannot now. It's so hard now to sell an apartment or a property worth 1 billion in 1 week, unless if you're selling it at a loss. Yes, but if you want to recover back your let's say your principal, let's say you used 1.5 billion, but you're selling it 1.6 or 1.5, the money invested in, you need 3 to 6 months, because you need to look at different offers and the different bidders that are bringing in their bids to buy the property. But as a serious investor, you must have different, there are different portfolios. We have active portfolio, there is passive, then we have discretionary and non-discretionary. Whereby, let's say I will first start with discretionary. Here you've given an expert to manage your properties. Let's say you have apartments here, but you're not good at selling those apartments. So you assign them to
Like a property manager?
a property manager who will make decisions on your behalf.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Then non-discretionary, there is an asset manager, but you still make decisions.
What decisions? Like when you want
Like
to sell it?
when you want to sell it.
Which tenants?
Yeah, which tenants are coming in? Do you want to sell it as condominiums? You're selling per room, or you're selling the whole block? Let's say mostly, especially investors who are not in the country, they usually do discretionary portfolios.
Yeah.
Because they appoint, let's say, a law firm to make decisions on their behalf.
Yeah.
They do buy, they do sell, like they're managing the whole portfolio. And then non-discretionary, you have an investment advisor or an asset manager, but you make the final decision.
So Treasury
Yes,
one?
meaning
Do you do the
that
services?
person is an expert.
Okay.
Is an expert at asset management.
Yeah.
So he will contact you that, please, we have this. For example, I will tell you about Treasury One. We manage different portfolios for different clients. We advise clients as and when to sell their bonds, as and when to buy, because we do market research and see when this bond when it's a good time for sale, such that we can also buy other bonds that are cheap on the market, and then the client makes some revenue.
Money.
Yes. Same applies to all other investments, both real estate and bonds.
Oh, Treasury one also manages those other investments?
Exactly, but we are specifically into treasury bills and bonds. We are not into real estate and stuff. Only clients who are planning to invest in bonds. Yeah.
So if I want to, like I have $1 billion, so I'm telling you, where should I put my money? Should I put it all in treasury bills and bonds, or can you advise me, or should I buy some land? No, how, does Treasury One provide those services of advising me?
Exactly. One, if you look at, let's say you have $1 billion you've never invested. You don't have land, you don't have a bond, you don't have an apartment, but you have $1 billion as your pension. The best thing is to first invest in a venture which is liquid, where you can easily access your money at any point. Then you start investing in long term.
Yes.
These are the real estate. Why? One, I will give you a simple breakdown. You have one currently. To get an apartment where you, let's say 12 rooms, you need around 1.6 billion. That's where the market is.
And you're buying like a condominium?
No, you're buying a whole block of an apartment.
Okay.
Seated on 12 decimals. You need 1.6 billion in a prime area like Kisasi and Chanja. So 1.6 billion, these are 12 units, 12 rooms. 12 rooms, we are going to estimate each room. Averagely, Chanja, it's 1.5. 1.5, that means you'll be collecting around 18 million per month. 18 million plus costs like security, cleaning services, plus some repairs. Monthly, we can estimate it to be around 4 million. So implying that you will be remaining with 14 million. 14 million per annum, that is 168 million. 168 million, now you have to do a rental tax, which is 12%, which is around, for, you can do math to tax.
Should I do the math?
Yeah, you can do the math.
12%
of 168 million?
Yes, 20.1.
20.1. So 20 million point one, that means that's the tax. Minus 168, that is around 148. 148, which would be
147.
Yeah.
147, 840, yeah, 148, yeah.
So 147 million annual. Then now, that's 1.6. You only have a correction of 147 million annually, net after taxes.
And it's not guaranteed because...
It's not guaranteed because some tenants will default, some tenants will shift, and some of the rooms will be empty.
For some months.
So yes, averagely, let's put it at 140. 140 million annual turnover on amount,
an investment of
1.6
billion. Yeah.
So let's now focus, look at
buying a bond.
Buying a bond. We're going to use an average bond which is paying an interest of 15.8%, which is the 23rd June 2039. This, if you compute a 15.8 of 1.6, it will be 252 million annual turnover. 252 million.
How much is the tax? Do they tax?
Yes, they do tax, which is 10%.
So 10% is annual or monthly?
Annual on a bond. 12% is annual on rental. So implying here you'll pay around 25.2 M on taxes on a return of 252 million. Implying that you have a net of 226, which is guaranteed.
There's no risk.
There is no risk. It's guaranteed. There will be no missed payment from Bank of Uganda. 256. 256, 140. Implying that in 5 years, if let's say I have taken a mortgage now, a mortgage of a property, which is an apartment, I've gone to the bank, told the bank, look, I want you to facilitate a purchase of this property, which is 1.6 billion. 1.6 billion you negotiate, because those high value credit facilities, you negotiate the interest that they are going to charge you. And you're using your bond, which is paying 226 million. If you distribute this interest received annually, it's 19 million. 19 million per month from a bond. The apartment is 14 million. I don't know whether you're with me.
There's so much money involved, but yes.
Yes, there's so much money involved. Now, if you distribute interest from a bond, it's 19 million average per month. 19 million average. You now tell the bank, I'll be paying 19 million. So you get a lump sum of 226, or you tell the bank to be collecting a revenue from the bond direct to them, which we call borrowing against your bond.
Oh, yeah.
So you've used your bond as security, collateral.
Do banks allow that?
Very much.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
You've used your bond as a collateral.
Like a way you can get a salary
Yes,
loan.
a collateral to acquire an apartment.
Oh.
Now, you use your interest from a bond to pay the loan.
Back the loan.
Then you remain then you start collecting your rent.
And the principal is untouched.
And your principal is untouched.
That's interesting.
So you collect your rent from your apartment. You acquired the apartment using a collateral from you acquired an apartment using a bond as the collateral. So the interest from a bond is taken by a bank. You're collecting your rent. So after, here you need 7 years. 7 years to have cleared the bank.
Your principal is still untouched.
Yes, which means the bank will collect all the principal,
All the interests.
from the bond for 7 years.
How about that
You-
tax?
No, we are talking about the net, the net interest.
Okay.
Yes. So you after 7 years, you have cleared your loan using the interest. So your bond is free and your apartment is free. From the caveat.
Well, that's really, really some smart stuff.
Yes. So here that's where the investor needs an investment advisor.
Advisory firm.
Yeah, because most of the investors do not have this knowledge.
Yeah.
How do you use your revenue from the bond? So you find now in 7 years, you have 2 assets. That is close to 3.2 billion in 7 years.
You have your principal?
You have your bond, you have your...
Wow.
Yes.
Guys, if you don't get rich from this show, what will you give me when you get rich? Just pay attention to Francis. Francis, thank you so much for sharing this really mind-blowing wisdom. I'm now thinking, where am I going to steal $1 billion? So that I can, have a bond that services my loan and that I can build. Wow, that's really, really interesting.
And also, even the interest, even when the investor is not interested in re-earning the bond to facilitate the purchase of the property, the interest itself from the bond, 250 million annual, can also be used to invest in real estate. We can use a rough estimate of Nigeria. You need 3 to 6 months for you to sell that plot of land that you just bought. But for a bond, you need only like 10, 15 minutes, or your mind, to make a decision and say, I'm selling. You have your money on the account. Which means if you're using 250 million per annum, in 7 years, you'll have invested in real estate, and you have close to 1.6 billion, 1.5 billion.
In investments.
Yes, in real estate. And here you have an asset which you can liquidate. Let's say you get a creme de la creme deal. Someone is selling an asset, which is, let's say, 2.5 billion, but has not been getting offers. And you feel if you have the money, you can take it. It's a matter of just going and liquidating, talking to the bank, and get the available buyers. Yeah. So first, as a business person, if you need money, which is also accumulating interest daily, as you monitor your market, the bond should be the first. Then real estate, as you spread the risk, you keep on investing. Because myself, I have a portfolio in bonds and another portfolio in real estate. But now I cannot now put all my investments in real estate. I want to appreciate guys who are investing in real estate, but I now appreciating bonds, because I have met most of the guys. They are now using bonds to borrow, and they are so much. The good thing with investors in real estate is they understand so fast. They understand so fast where money is made. Because I've met guys who have already invested in bonds, but they are so much active in real estate. Yes, so much active in real estate. After understanding that you can use your bond to borrow.
Like you don't need to put a chapa kumeza.
Yes, a chapa kumeza, you can use your bond to borrow.
You don't need to put your car flat, you just use your bond to borrow.
Yes, be like, hey, if I have 1 billion, you mean I can access this amount of money and go and now invest in my money.
And banks are always...
Yes, and no one will call me to say, hey, Osasola D. No. Because the bank will be deducting at source. Those are like DAS loans. the bank gets the money from Bank of Uganda, immediately they offset part of your installment.
Yeah.
Yes, and you use the other money, then after some time, you come back and take your bond.
So you advise people to have both?
Both.
Real
both.
estate and
both.
bonds.
But for starters,
For when you're starting out, should be a bond.
For starters, especially like pensioner, it depends also on the person, because you'll find someone before retirement invested in real estate, and now there is another venture. So it's a matter of having a distributed asset class portfolio whereby you're both this side. You're both this side. Because I'll give you my personal experience. I only put 25% of my return in real estate. Why? And the 25% I put because I have cash. When you have cash in Kampala, you are like the king, because they will look for you. People have problems. People have issues. People need cash. And
I need cash.
Yes, and and cash is not easily accessed.
Yeah, that's true.
So someone will be having an
someone is already selling land.
Yes, someone is selling land. If you want to know that it's not easy to sell land, you own one and you say I'm selling, and you see how many people will contact you after 3 months. If at all,
and you get
none.
any.
Yeah, if at all, if you don't even get any.
Because there's so many people selling land.
Yes, there are so many people selling land and buyers are few.
Yeah.
So as an investor, one, be ready. Have the money, have an asset you can liquidate anytime for you to get that good asset that you've been dreaming about. Yes, have an asset. But now, you saying I will sell my plot on Gayaza Road, I come and buy here in Bukoto. No. By the time you get money from your land in Gayaza. Here, Francis, who has an asset which he can liquidate just in 5 minutes.
I would have already.
Yeah, I will have taken it.
Dang.
So it's a matter of being ready with cash, being an asset, having an asset which you can easily liquidate, like a bond, which is liquid. Yeah.
Yeah, so guys should really invest in, especially starters. If you're just starting out, you just got your pension, you're starting out, go and buy a bond or come to us at Treasury One. We'll advise you. Just come with your money. You're like, guys, my pension has arrived. This is the amount. And this is my long-term goal. I want my children not to work a day in their lives. I want my children not to suffer with school fees or hospital. I want them to live a life as if I never left or I never stopped working. So you tell the investment advisor your goal, and then they will advise you on how to distribute your pension, whether into real estate. Of course, they can't advise you to only put into real estate. As you've heard from Francis, that's a risky adventure or a risky venture. But when you buy a bond, your bond can actually be used to service a loan. You don't need to put your land as collateral. Chapa kumeza. Manya, you're running after putting chapa kumeza. You are not picking phone calls from the bank. You can just get a bond and then use part of your interest or all your interests to service a loan. And yeah, they automatically deduct your interest. Remember that your principal remains untouched. Do you know how wealthy you will be in this Kampala, even from your pension? Yeah, so thank you so much, Francis. Me, I've got it. I don't know if these people have got it, but I hope you have got it. And if you'd like to, if you're wondering what is a bond, these guys are talking about bonds. What is this conversation about? Please refer to our previous episodes on this very channel. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment what you have understood. If you have some questions, you can also leave your comments, leave them in the comments, and we'll be able to address them only at Treasury One on YouTube. So Francis, one last question. We've talked about real estate versus bonds. And then we've also talked about how bonds can, facilitate real estate. How do you advise someone who has already put all their money in real estate. And now they are suffering with loans and yeah, they're looking for a way out of that fix. Do they still come to Treasury One or they just, sell off their properties and yeah?
Thanks, Edna. One, I think it's a matter of reviewing the portfolio and have different asset classes. One, if maybe someone got a revenue of 2 billion and invested it all into real estate. Now it's high time that person reviews the portfolio, and if there is a chance of liquidating some of the assets, let him liquidate and start developing a distributed portfolio whereby you have different assets, both in bonds, you have bills, you have real estate, and also same applies to the revenue generated in real estate can also be reinvested into bonds, though it's not consistent due to the risks associated with real estate.
Yeah.
For example, if someone has an apartment and is collecting around 12 million, 10 million, 12 million, 10 million, 12 million, it's a matter of like investing consistently. Because I remember my first year investing in bonds, I started with as low as 100,000, which I was doing per week. So every week I would invest, because that's the minimum amount you can invest in bonds. I would invest 100,000, like without fail. Even when I have issues, I would invest 100,000, implying that is 400,000, which I later like changed from 100 to 250,000 per week. Then I kept on growing the portfolio until I started now investing 500,000 per week, because now if you keep investing, that means you keep growing the portfolio and you keep getting the interest. Now you cannot remain, if you started with 100,000, you can't remain on 100,000, yet the portfolio that you're having is already generating the revenue. So you keep on like growing, reinvesting, investing, growing, until like you feel like you've really grown your portfolio. Because I started with 100,000 in 1 year, because investing in bonds, it puts you on pressure for you to grow, because now you're looking at interest earned. Interest earned on 100,000, it's if you calculate this, let's say average 16%, that is 16,000. 16,000, you keep on now focus at growing the interest. So if you've been getting 16,000 annually, you now focus at getting 32,000. Now you grow slowly, put yourself on pressure until, because personally, my first 2 years, I grew my portfolio without withdrawing and putting myself on pressure, getting all the loans, credit facilities, and I think annually I had around 168 million. I still remember the time I reviewed my Bank of Uganda statement, and I think I was the happiest. It was around November. 2 years reviewing my portfolio, I have 168 million. I couldn't believe, but it was out of the pressure I was putting myself on. Like every coin I'm getting, I'm focusing at growing my portfolio, like learning these bonds, what are they, how do I start getting money, like how do I get money monthly, reasonable money, 200,000, and I became an active investor into bonds, which now makes sense. And now after investing in bonds, it'll be like now you cannot have one portfolio. Yes, now you have to go into low return assets, which is real estate, low risk, low return, but needs a lot of money. Just imagine 1.6 billion generating 140 million annually. For me as an investor, it doesn't make sense. But now, you, in portfolio risk management, you must have distributed asset classes.
Yeah.
All banks, fund managers, they have T-bills, they have T-bonds, they have some are in real estate. Why? Pension funds, they're also in real estate. Why? They use T-bills because if you come and need your money, there is those the inflows that keep on coming, and these are the T-bills which you can easily sell. The 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, like keep these are, and as an investor you must have them. Like if you want to be an active, rich investor, you must have assets that you can easily sell. That you see that I have my money there.
Yeah.
In one, how I can get my money. But if you're investing in assets whereby you struggle, put like 15 blockers for you to sell, then you need to revise your
Investment portfolio.
your investment decisions.
Thank you so much, Francis, for sparing your time and sharing with us this amount of knowledge. Guys, this is free knowledge. Meanwhile, this money we've been talking about is in Uganda shillings. Don't be there thinking you're talking about 1 billion US dollars. Although you can invest in 1 billion US dollars, we're not limiting you. But we've been talking about the Ugandan context. And so all the money we've been talking about is in Uganda shillings. Yeah? We're looking forward to investing with you at Treasury One in Uganda Limited. The numbers are all on your screens. Just call us if you have any question. Just call us and, we will let you know how you can have a distributed investment portfolio so that you're not stressed out when you need quick money and you don't need to stress out in terms of selling that piece of land in less than a week, if that's even possible. Yeah, I've been Kanyasja Edna, your host as usual. Catch you on the next episode. Till next time, bye.